Witness testimony. The lawyer's theory is absurd. Now I shall destroy your utterly absurd and barbarous theory. I was not anywhere near the tomb following the murder. Were your theory correct, I would have been in the tomb once I had stopped channeling. My husband Dirk is the killer, but he has fled from the sacred hall. May the Holy Mother rain judgment upon the traitor Dirk Sadmati for his crimes.
Oh, such marvelous testimony. You are truly a treasure, your mercifulness.
This too is but by the grace of her holiness. No doubt my unmasking here today was her will as well.
Oh my, the Holy Mother, you say?
Yes, surely her holiness has guided me to this witness stand.
Are you kidding?
And of the purity of truth.
Oh, how magnificent. Queen Amara, the Holy Mother's messenger here on earth.
Praise be for Queen Amara. Blessings, blessings upon her mercifulness. Where do those animals even come from?
Now then, the defense may question the witness.
But remember, she's a grand priestess, so disrespect will not be tolerated.
That means no pointing out conflicts, inconsistencies, or any other flaws in her testimony. What the hell is really going on with this trial? And this is only the second act.
Now I shall destroy your utterly absurd and barbarous theory.
My theory is utterly absurd and barbarous?
And high-handed, if I may say so. Nayuta was right to call you putrid-minded. Surely even the monkeys of Mount Pani-Pani's holy waterfalls could devise a better theory.
Surely you can steal better insults than Nayuta's best.
Now then, to all of you gathered in the sacred hall, need I remind you? I was not anywhere near the tomb following the murder.
Well, maybe you were hiding inside the sarcophagus. After all, it does technically belong to you. I bet you have no trouble opening it.
If I had been in there, I could not be here today, for the tomb has been under constant surveillance since the murder. I would have never been able to leave.
I guess not. If I might ask, what's in that sarcophagus anyway? You're still alive, so...
There is despair, sadness, hatred, and malice. Only one brave enough to see the truth hidden deep within could discover the final hope, my continued corporeality.
You completely lost me. In other words, it's empty, but no one dared to open it because they were too scared of the curse.
Now, will you dispense with your theory? It is as empty as my sarcophagus. Were your theory correct, I would have been in the tomb once I had stopped channeling.
I'll admit you weren't in the tomb after the murder.
Very good, but that very truth refutes your theory. Even if I had channeled Minister Inga.
I am your tomb.
The moment I ceased channeling him, I would have re-emerged at the crime scene.
Precisely. As you said your self-defense, Queen Amara was not there after the murder. The only living souls in the tomb at that time were Dirk Sadmati and Maya Fey.
Be it in this life or the next. There is no escaping such simple truths. My husband Dirk is the killer, but he has fled from the sacred hall.
There must be a reason why he had to make his escape today.
A reason? Ah, perhaps. Perhaps what? Perhaps to conceal himself and lie in wait for another chance to claim my life.
What's this?
Objection!
No, it's definitely not like that, your magistrate, your mercifulness. First of all, you don't really believe he's trying to kill you, do you? After all, you two ran off together after he rescued you all those years ago.
That was only because he had the audacity to claim it wasn't me. You must believe me. It was my duty as a wife to her husband, to bend an ear to him, was it not? Communication after disagreement is a secret to a long and happy marriage.
Sure, I guess. What do you think, Mr. Wright? Don't ask me!
That is why I listened to Dirk. However, he didn't have a shred of evidence to support his claim. It grieves me to admit it, but my husband truly did try to murder me.
That's quite enough. It's abundantly clear that Queen Amara's testimony is flawless.
Do you understand now, lawyer?
This is bad. The judge isn't going to let me cross-examine her much longer. Amara should have been in the tomb after the minister's murder, but she wasn't. I don't get it. How did she just vanish from the scene of the crime like that? It shouldn't be possible for normal people to.
For normal people.
Ah, maybe. Maybe what?
Your Majesty, I think I can explain why Queen Amara wasn't there in the tomb after the murder.
Very well, defense, do explain.
I believe it was accomplished through a method only she is capable of, and by using this special method, it would be possible for her to literally disappear.
Well, don't keep us waiting. Let's hear it. How did Queen Amara disappear from the tomb?
She channeled someone. All she had to do was channel someone. Then she could easily disappear from the scene of the crime. After all, she would literally be someone else.
Why, I believe that actually makes sense.
What do you have to say to that, Queen Amara? You believe that I, a grand priestess, would use the sacred power of spirit channeling to commit murder?
What the?
Mercy, your mercifulness.
How dare you spew such vile blasphemy, defense? You will retract your last statement or face immediate execution.
No, good Majesty. It is quite all right. Khura'in also teaches that we must respond at all times with reason principle. Therefore, I shall offer a measured response to his blasphemous accusation. You have something to counter with? Indeed. Now are you listening? It would not have been possible to simply vanish by means of spirit channeling. After all, it would require a deceased person to channel. However, there was only one murder victim in the tomb. And that was Minister Inga, the only others there right after his murder were Dirk and Miss Faye. Ah, had I channeled Inga as you allege, well, the outcome would have been quite odd, to say the least. For there beside the dead minister, a living, breathing one would have appeared. Even if I had been in the tomb, there was no one to channel except the deceased minister. So you see, I could not have vanished by means of spirit channeling. That's true, but I can't rule it out yet. Because, well,
what if there was another victim?
Someone we haven't identified yet. How absurd. If you channeled someone other than Minister Inga, you could have used their identity to disappear from the tomb.
Another victim?
Queen Amara? Please add your last statement to your testimony. This could explain everything. Wasn't there some sign of another victim there in the tomb? And yet, why do I sense I'm not going to like what I'm about to find out? Minister Inga was the sole victim. There was no other spirit the channel until he was dead.
Then how do you explain this?
Objection!
I can't believe I'm presenting this, but it proves that there was another victim. Still, the only ones there at the scene of the crime were Maya Fey, Dirk Sadmati. No! It can't be! Would the defense care to share something with us? Queen Amara, you knew, didn't you?
Whatever are you talking about?
If you won't tell his court, then I will. Well, don't keep us waiting.
This case includes a second victim. One of the two people found alive in the tomb after the minister's murder was actually already dead.
But a second victim, Apollo.
Queen Amara, after you channeled Minister Inga and moved to the tomb, you vanished from the scene of the crime by channeling the other victim. That explains why no one found you after the murder was discovered.
Oh, you putrid pepper. Of all the half-witted buffoonery to come tumbling from your lips. But suppose I indulge you and play along with your little delusion. Tell me, Mr. Justice, who was the other victim?
I think he knows. There's no way this can be true. But no, I can't stop now. If this is the truth, it's the only way forward to solving this case. The other victim who Queen Amara channeled was Dirk Sadmati.
Listen, son, even if you manage to prove me innocent tomorrow, I don't have long to live. There is no escaping death now that it has its sights set on me.
Dirk knew everything, but he couldn't bring himself to tell me.
I have one more big secret. I'm afraid I can't tell you what it is. I'd be betraying a certain someone if I did.
He couldn't accuse the love of his life. The sad truth is, the other victim channeled by Amara was...
Take that!
What? You can't! That's not possible! The defendant, Dirk Sadmati, is the one Queen Amara channeled. He's the other victim. This is insanity! Porkonka! Apollo, what are you... Do you realize what you're proposing?
Objection!
I demand an explanation, Mr. Justice. I don't know when or why Dirk was murdered, but the facts and evidence speak for themselves. And this is where they've led me.
I see. After Inga's murder, Dirk and Maya were the only ones in the tomb. But if one of them was actually dead and being channeled by Amara...
But it can't be. Can it? Dirk's bloodstain at the scene of the crime was the clincher for me. He wasn't even injured, so how could he have possibly bled that much? The only logical explanation is Dirk had also been murdered.
Objection!
That's enough. Your explanation cannot be the truth. And you would not dare to claim to have proof to support your assertion.
Nayuta, I wish it weren't true. I wish with all my heart that I'm wrong. But as much as I don't want to believe it, yes, I can prove it. Dirk's killer must have hidden his body. It would have to be somewhere nobody would ever look. And there is only one such place. You truly have proof? The fastest way would be to actually have someone go check the tomb. Go check the tomb? But why? Because I believe Dirk's killer hid his body here in the sarcophagus. You would suggest Queen Amara's sarcophagus, the only place in the tomb that no one would dare to look. Plus, a killer would soon become trapped by hiding in there. But a body? Well, that's a horse of a different color. Which means... I believe we must search the sarcophagus at once. Your Eminence, being that Queen Amara yet lives, I trust we may now open it. If we must. Your Majesty, I believe Detective Sky is still there at the tomb. Let us contact her at once and have her conduct the full investigation into the matter. Now then, Detective Sky, your report, if you please.
I'll start with my findings. Please let me be wrong about this. I just want things to be as they were. Just say it. A search of the sarcophagus revealed a body that appears to be several days old. Body? Detective Sky, tell me it wasn't Dirk. Tell me my whole theory was completely off base. I have a photo of the body, and I have positively identified it as... Dirk Sadmati. Dirk! No! Why? Why this have to happen? Damn it, Dirk! Answer me! How can this be? The traitor Snake, the very head of the insurgency, murdered? Oh, what a joyous day. Those fools shouting for change and revolution will finally return to whatever rocks they crawl out from under. Who? What was I even fighting for?
Apollo!
What am I supposed to do now?
Oh, Polly.
I...
Son? A lawyer? Should never look the way you do right now. A dragon never yields. Even when wounded, a dragon bites down hard and never lets go till its dying breath. It glares, it roars, and it latches its jaws firmly onto its prey till the bitter end. That's what lawyers do to get to the truth.
But, Dirk, what if the truth is that you're...
Apollo, in court tomorrow, you may find yourself faced with a truth that is difficult to accept. But I know you, and I know you can handle the truth, no matter what it turns out to be. I know that because I believe in you. You're my son, after all.
You believed in me that much, Dirk? Dirk, I think I finally understand.
I can't yield. Not now. Not ever. Not after Dirk believed in me despite knowing what was about to happen. Besides, Dirk left me with two things I must do. Are you all right, Apollo?
Sorry about that, Mr. Wright.
But I'm fine now. Apollo? Detective Sky.
Yes?
How sure are you that the body's been there for a few days?
I'm positive. No autopsy has been performed yet, but I'd say it's been at least 3 days. Fortunately, the low temperature inside the sarcophagus kept it from decaying. Oh, and the chest area bore 3 gunshot wounds from a small caliber weapon. I believe they are the cause of death.
At least 3 days, huh? That means Dirk was already dead by the time he came to visit me back in the States. Then who was channeling him? I think it would have to be someone who could get into and stay in the US without arousing suspicion. Yet also had a solid cover story so they wouldn't be seen as missing. I believe this is who was channeling Dirk when I saw him in the States. Maya Fey.
Take that!
Maya? Oh, I see. She was being held hostage at the time, so it seemed only natural that she wasn't around. Right, and do you remember what she said earlier? So please, just tell me, what exactly are you hiding?
Sorry, but I promised Dirk I wouldn't say.
You made a promise to Dirk?
Mm-hmm. A pretty big one.
Dirk didn't want his own death to be known. The other members of the Defiant Dragons would lose all hope if they found out. And that would snuff out the flames of revolution for good. Miss Fey, Dirk told you to keep quiet about this, didn't he?
Huh. I guess it's no use hiding it anymore. Yes, I promise not to tell. Dirk made me promise before he died.
So I was right then.
Apollo? There's something I need to tell you. It's about, you know, Dirk's final moments.
I'm listening, Miss Fey. What happened in his final moments?
It was soon after I was kidnapped. Dirk paid me a visit in that tomb where I was being held captive. I'd say it was a few days before Minister Inga's murder.
Hey, young lady, time to get you up and out of here.
It's that revolutionary guy.
I'm here to rescue you.
You are? Why?
I figured things were a little too quiet with that stamp-sucking scumbag. So I started digging around. That's when I found out you've been abducted.
But why would a rebel help me?
Let's go before it's too late. It already is for you, pal. Long time no see, you rebel blowhard. Inga, I know you're up to something. I'm gonna find out what. Ugh! I have to wonder if it was also the fact that they got an M rating. That's kinda smart. You've become a real thorn in my side, see? So it's time for you to be pushing up daisies.
Dirk!
Even after 3 shots, he wouldn't concede. Did you really think a pea shooter like that could kill a dragon? What the? What are you, some kind of freak? Nuts to this!
Dirk was shot several times, but he barely even flinched. He sacrificed himself for me. These ropes! I've got to help you.
Relax. It's gonna be okay. Sorry things turn out this way, but it doesn't look like I have much longer.
No, don't say that!
You're a spirit medium, aren't you? When I'm gone, I want you to channel my spirit.
Stop it! Don't give up like that!
If you do, untying a rope like that will be child's play.
No! Please, hang in there. You can still make it.
Promise. Promise me. One thing, young lady. It's about my son.
Dirk was talking about you, Apollo. He said he wanted to see you one last time. So he asked me to return to the US and channel his spirit.
He really said that?
Mm-hmm. He also said he'd been meaning to visit you for years but kept putting it off. And that this was his last chance.
You just show up here without warning after all this time? What gives? I came all the way to see you, son. Come, rejoice. Right. Why didn't you tell me the real reason you're here? Dirk, you really did come to the US because you wanted to see me. I guess this means it was Inga that hid Dirk's body in the sarcophagus after Maya left the tomb.
Apollo, you can't stop now. Dirk would want you to keep pressing on.
I know, Miss Faye, and I won't disappoint him. Defense, if you are ready to proceed, I would first have you answer this. Do you believe the accused's death will impact what we know about this case? Yes, and I believe I can explain everything now. Very well, your explanation, please. Dirk entered the tomb at 3 p.m., the time the hostage exchange was to take place. Or rather, Dirk as channeled by Miss Faye did. Now, by the time he entered the tomb at 3 p.m., Minister Inga was already dead. I'd say that because we know the minister was murdered at 2 p.m. But there was someone else in there. This person was already hiding in the tomb, waiting to channel Dirk in place of Miss Faye. Amara Sigatar Khura'in.
Take that!
It was you, wasn't it? The fact of the matter is, Queen Amara killed Minister Inga at 2 p.m. She then went to his private quarters and channeled his spirit. The minister, thinking he was going to be late, hurried to the tomb for the hostage exchange. But once in the tomb, Queen Amara stopped channeling Minister Inga and hid herself. Then when Dirk entered at 3 p.m., she snuck up from behind and forcibly drove Dirk's spirit out of Miss Faye's body.
Drove his spirit out of her body. Impossible.
Objection!
Actually, there is a way to do that. With a Magatama of parting, that is. Using one, anyone can drive a spirit out of a person's body, even if it refused to leave. Are you telling me that the extra pale brown Magatama in the tomb was... That it was. That's right, Prosecutor Sadmati, and you've seen one in action before. You saw how the glowing red Magatama sent the High Priest back to the Twilight Realm. And how it turned a spent pale brown afterwards. In other words, the brown Magatama found in the tomb looks that way because its power has been used up in pushing Dirk's spirit out of Miss Faye's body, right?
I probably passed out as soon as Dirk's spirit left my body. I was exhausted after channeling him for so long after all. After that, Queen Amara must have dressed Miss Faye in her usual outfit and tied her up. I'm not sure where she got the outfit, but we could assume she had it all planned out. Then Queen Amara must have changed into Dirk's clothes, smeared blood onto them, picked up the knife, and channeled Dirk's spirit. That's how she made it look like Dirk had committed the crime. And that's how she escaped, right under our noses. Gah! I don't know, Apollo. The whole thing still seems a bit far-fetched. Dirk, what was going through your mind while all this was unfolding? So ultimately, it was all for naught. Nayuta! Those dreams of revolution Dirk was always spouting. They placed nothing but false hope in the minds of the people. And in the end, they were simply fantasies. Nayuta, how can you... Karma has spoken. The dream of revolution has withered on the vine. Its fate is sealed. The other insurgents will soon wake from their shattered dreams. No, Dirk's dream can't die like this. I'm not going to sit back and let that happen. I can't, and I won't. Nayuta, don't forget that Dirk's been proven innocent. His name is no longer tainted by the charge of murder. Now the rebels and their sympathizers who have been calling for his release can't be charged with abetting the accused. So the revolution is far from over. It's only just begun.
Objection!
No, Dirk has not yet been proven innocent. You have merely indicated the possibility of his innocence. What do you mean? Dirk is indeed dead. However, what if it was Dirk who killed Minister Inga while being channeled by Miss Faye? And while the crime could have occurred at 2 p.m., you have yet to substantially prove it? Or do you have conclusive proof at the time of Minister Inga's death was at 2 p.m.? Well, no, I don't, but... It seems further testimony will be required of me. As it would appear that I have fallen under suspicion, I would like to state my case. Prosecutor Sadmati, the rebellion must be snuffed out once and for all. You must prove Dirk Sadmati to be the foul murderer that he was, and every last insurgent and their sympathizers
must be found guilty under the Defense Culpability Act.
As you wish, Your Eminence.
Why is Nayuta doing this? Your aunt shouldn't have had him under her thumb anymore. Amara's not a hostage, so what gives?
Nayuta, what's left to chain you to her like this? Very well, then. Queen Amara, please proceed with your additional testimony.